This is going to be our live question and answer. I have those of you who want to ask your question because sometimes just typing it out is so difficult. You can't get your point across. And I love to be able to take your questions and I will answer them live and on the fly. So for those of you who want to submit a question for me, you can go to speakpipe.com/Christine Dwyer, and you can submit your question that I, of course, can answer for you coming up in the future. I like to do this on Wednesdays. So my name is Christine, and I help small business owners be able to build their businesses and understand the type of activity, the core activities and actions that need to be done in your business, not just by yourself, by other people that are in your team as well as working with you, like Cliff Notes. I like to boil it down like Cliff Notes and be able to give you a blueprint that works for your business. Some people are actually taking advantage of reaching out personally to ask questions. So I'm very sorry, but yes, I am giving a lot of training and content and information. And I am, of course, trying to teach you guys some tips on how to grow your business. But I'm really sorry. I cannot personally consult and check out my webpage, see if this is right, or is this a good name for my webpage, or I can't do that. I'm sorry, because obviously I have my own business. I'm in network marketing. I've been doing that for 7 years, and I have to personally mentor people who are directly working with me, and I give of my time, such as like this, to mentor people in a different capacity. So I'm sorry, I cannot personally check out your website to see if that's right, or can you read this bio and see if this is right? Bio. I'm sorry, I can't do that because obviously I've got my own business and I give of my time this way. So let me start with Michelle Homey. She's going to ask a question here and let's get started. So here is her question.
Hi, Christine. My name is Michelle Homey and the name of my business is called Constant Change. And you can find me at Facebook, facebook.com/It Starts Today. And I just listened to your Periscope that you did yesterday, and my question to you is regarding podcasting. I know that you did not cover it in your Periscope, but I was just curious because I am going to be launching my own podcast here in the next couple of months. And my question is, how often should one do a podcast, and how long should that podcast last? For example, should you do a podcast once a week? And should it last 30 minutes to 45 minutes, or should it be more frequently, or what have you? So if you could provide me with that answer, that would be greatly appreciated. Have a great day.
All right. So thank you so much, Michelle, for asking your question. And again, if you want your question to be answered, you can go to speakpipe.com/Christine Dwyer and just ask me a question and I can feature it here. So her question is in regards to podcasting, but I'm going to answer that question, but it doesn't matter if you are not doing a podcast or if you are doing a podcast, because the answer I'm going to give is going to relate to any type of content that you're putting out. So her question is in regards to with podcasting. How often should she put a podcast out to be consistent? That's the whole key. It's consistency. So that will relate with everything that you're doing. So for instance, if you are building on YouTube, if you are building on Periscope, if you're building a podcast, if you're building in Pinterest, if you're doing blog articles, this is the same answer for all of that. Consistency. So you have to make sure that you are picking a time frame where people can expect that your content will be coming out. Much like with you guys with Periscope, there is a rhythm now that many of the broadcasters are on that you follow, that you know kind of when they're coming on. Now today I am later than normal. And again, I did say my previous scopes, I do not want to schedule myself hard. I do have a typical time in the evening that I like to shoot for around 9:30 Eastern Standard Time. And that's usually when my kids go to bed. So that's always usually a standard because I kind of want to do it and then be able to chill and watch my DVR on the couch. So that's normally when I'll do it. But in the afternoon, I have to go with the flow. So for instance, it is late. It's 6:15 here in Central Standard Time, so 7:15 Eastern right now. This is much later than what I normally do. I usually do it in the mid-afternoon or late morning. But today got away from me. I worked out and then I had to take my son to karate and up and about. So I'm fitting it in where I can. That's the key. It doesn't really make a difference in terms of timing of day, but it is critical for exactly that you are being consistent. So for instance, with podcasting, just be consistent, and a good average to follow for podcasting is like once a week. So thanks for my hair looking cute. Again, this is post-workout hair. Thank you. How am I taking live verbal questions? Great question. You can go to speakpipe.com/Christine Dwyer and just ask your question. So you want to be consistent, podcasting at least once a week. So for my podcast, I run a podcast called The Platinum Edge. And The Platinum Edge, my goal is to have 2 up a week. I like to run them 2 a week just because I look at my own habits and I really want to relate to what kind of content do I want to hear, when do I want to hear it, and I wish that person put out more. So I kind of follow my own habits and what I wish for. So most of the time, my podcast comes out on Tuesday mornings. So I try to have them come up around 4 a.m. Central Standard Time because I know a lot of people get up and work out early that they like to listen to podcasts while they're working out. So my scheduled time is I like to have my Tuesday first thing in the morning and Fridays first thing in the morning. And I try to be as consistent as I can getting into that rhythm. So my suggestion with podcasting is pick one day and just be consistent on that day. Same thing with blogging. Pick a day and be consistent with that day. So if it's going to be once a week, then be consistent with it once a week. And the same with YouTube. Pick a day and make sure it's consistent. For instance, there's a girl that I follow. I haven't watched her videos in a long time, but I can get in a marathon of watching her stuff on YouTube. She puts her videos out on Wednesday, and I know that. And she is a potty mouth girl, and she will do anything on there. Her name is Jenna Marbles. And I always watch her stuff. It's on Wednesday. And I know it's consistent. So I know that her stuff was going to be coming out. The same with a makeup artist that I used to watch a lot. Her name was Candy. And I would just know when her stuff was going to be coming out. And you kind of look forward to it. That's the key, is people will look forward to your content with your consistency. So find out how frequent you want to do your material and then just pick a time frame that you're going to be consistent with uploading it. Depending on which platform you're using. So for instance, with YouTube and with Pinterest and with blogging and your stuff being found by Google, you really want to make sure that you're consistent because the more consistent you are, then of course you get higher visibility and ranking when in search fields. So that's really important for make sure that you are very consistent. The next question, we've got it from Amanda. So this is Amanda Bovey. Let's give her time for her question.
Hi, Christine. My name is Amanda Bovey. I am a registered nurse. I'm going back to school to be a nurse practitioner, and I am also a Beachbody coach. So my question is in regards to building a brand through Beachbody. I use my, knowledge that I've attained through my career in nursing, and I relate, that to my health and fitness business. But I guess my question is, what is the most effective way to build your team as a Beachbody coach? I post regularly on my Facebook page. I am currently building a website, which is www.amandabovey-fitness.com. My handle is Amanda Bovey on Facebook. It's pretty much that on everything. But I guess I'm at a standstill. It's been probably 2 months, and I have only sold 1 challenge pack. I have signed no coaches. So I guess I'm just wondering what my missing link is here and what I'm doing wrong. So I try to scope daily, but I feel like I'm throwing myself into the social media world, and I just feel like there's a disconnect somewhere.
All right, so I let that one play a little bit longer because there was some key things in there that I needed you guys to hear because I want to point out why someone's business will not be growing. So yes, she is talking about a very specific MLM. She's a Beachbody coach, and she's talking about specific activity that you would be doing in Beachbody coaching that would be able to build your business. So what my answer is again, not directed towards just Beachbody coaching. It could be your own personal efforts in your own business. It could be with It Works. It could be with Jamberry Nails. It could be with Visalis. It could be with any business. It doesn't matter which business you're in. This answer still applies. So to recap what she said she's been doing, she said she's a nurse. And she has been building her business on social media, and she's been doing it aggressively for 2 months. And she's got a website that is amandabovey-fitness.com or something like that. And then additionally, she says she's been scoping every week And she's wondering why she hasn't been able to bring any teammates into her business, as well as she's not making any sales. Let's see what the answer might be. Before I give you my 2 cents, and again, my 2 cents may be completely wrong, and you'd be like, I disagree. You're full of it. That's the truth. I could be completely full of it, and everyone's different. So my opinion, I'll give you, of course, my opinion, and of course, what I've seen with entrepreneurs growing in success. So why don't you put in comments what you think that she could be doing going wrong? She said she's a nurse, and she wants to help people with her corporate career or her career. And she said she's building on social media, and she has a fitness website that she's building, and she's periscoping. So what is she doing what is she doing and what is she not doing that's not going to be growing her business? I'm a person that will process it. She's new to the business and she's working to build her business. She said in her message, she's a nurse and she wants to build her business by educating people with her career, but she then has a website that she's building that is titled something fitness, Amanda Bovey Fitness. So if you are going to be educating people about health and your career of nursing, why would you be taking a fitness professional title? That's the first red flag that I saw. So that was one. The second is that she is relying on building her business by just, here, let me put that there and see if someone buys it. Ooh, let me put there and see if someone gets that. You can't just put content there and then just, did anyone like it yet? Did anyone buy it? You can't do that. The only way to grow your business in the beginning of growing your business is to personally reach out to people and talk to them on the phone and invite them to look at your business. Invite them to check out your product. Invite them to do whatever program, service, or whatever you're doing. That's the only way to get your business started strong in the beginning. Because all of these little scared tactics, and I'm sorry I'm being very honest, but that's just the way I gotta say it. That's scary tactics. And I know you got a full-time career, but relying on hiding behind a web page and your posts on social media and the constant time that you're giving up to create blog articles and do scoping and putting Facebook out there and waiting for someone to love it and want to work with you doesn't work. You're wasting your time creating content when in the beginning phases of growing any business, it's all about personal attention and reaching out to people. In the beginning phases of me growing my business, I was on MySpace. I was not on Facebook. I was not all over those. I didn't have Periscope. We didn't have any of that stuff. So what did I do to grow my business in the beginning? I made a huge list of people and I buckled down and I contacted them, constantly calling and messaging people to line up phone calls to tell them about what I was doing and that they should consider it. In the beginning, you have to do that strongly. You can still put up content and build your foundation of a social proof, but the only way is to reach out specifically and speak to people. That's for any business. So this is the main problem. I think she's confused on which direction she should focus on, because she said she wanted to focus on career with nursing, but then she's now labeling herself with fitness. And then the other side of it is just putting bread out there and waiting to see if a bird comes. You can't do that. You can build your content on social media and all your platform, but you gotta specifically talk to people, to the people that you know, your warm market. So if you're not really sure how to work with your warm market, your cold market, or how to do attraction marketing, I'll tell you exactly what you can do. I have a podcast, The Platinum Edge. I did a 3-part series teaching people exactly how to build their business in warm market technique first, cold market technique second, and then the third podcast was about attraction marketing. So I teach all of that in the Platinum Edge podcast. So go ahead, start listening to that. And I did see someone talked about jab, 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 right hook completely. You're going to be putting that up on your social media. But if you rely on the content that you're constantly putting out, so you can be amazing in offering value and jabbing and giving a lot of value, you can do that a lot. But if that's all you're doing, you have to accept it's going to take your business a lot longer to build, because It takes people 3 to 6 months average seeing your stuff before they believe you. And usually people get frustrated and quit around 2 to 3 months. So there you go. My podcast is The Platinum Edge. So platinum, like this word right here, platinum edge. All right, let's go on to our next one. Let's feature Katie. So this is from Katie, and here is her question.
Hi, Christine. I'm Katie. As an executive restaurant manager, I help others with communication skills and approaching professional matters in a positive outlook so employees can gain resolve in the workplace. I'm looking to teach more than management skills. I would like to share my journey on navigating helping others with local charity and community outreach. My question is, how much of my time should be spent investing in nonprofit research while balancing a full-time career with 2 kids? You can find me on Facebook at Be Fit with KT. Thank you for your time, Christine. Have a good day.
Cool. Thank you so much, Katie, for asking that question. So she said that she is in the restaurant industry and she's great with, of course, leadership and helping people become successful. And her goal is to work more in the non-for-profit area. Non-for-profit, but basically we're giving yourself for free. And she wanted to know how much time she should be giving up to doing that, especially since she's busy also in her life. Here's the real question. So if you are going to be giving yourself time to anything extra, be it if you're going to make money doing it or if you are going to be doing it for free, you have to decide what is your priority. So if you are nonprofit, thank you. If you are not sure exactly what your priority is and why you're doing what you're doing, then you definitely need to figure that out. And the number one book that you should definitely check out is Push by Chalene Johnson. That one, because a lot of people say that something that they're doing is the reason why they're doing something. That's their priority. This is why I work so hard so I could have this. Or this is why I work so hard so my family could blah, blah, blah. I saw, for instance, I don't know, I was watching on TV. I watch a ton of TV, so I can't tell you exactly which show it was. But I can visualize it exactly. It was a show that showed up and there was a guy, and it was a real reality type show. But he was standing there in the kitchen and he was saying his kids were like begging for him to be present in their life for some lives for some kids event that they had going on. And his response to them was, I'm so sorry, I can't be there. I'm working so much that I'm not here because I want you to have a good life. He wanted them to be in a good school and to not be in a bad school. So he himself is choosing to not be present in their lives because he's trying to provide for them. Not wrong. Of course, we all have to do what we have to do. And like my story, I used to feel really bad about this story. But when I was saying in the beginning, my priority of why I'm working so much is to give my husband the choice of if he wants to work full time or does he want to be a stay-at-home dad or work with me, as well as that my kids could have the life that I never had. So in the beginning, I used to feel really bad about being a stay-at-home working person and having my newborn and my 1.5-year-old around me, but they were around me and I wasn't present with them. I wasn't there always teaching them the ABCs and making sure that they weren't just having time watching TV. I did stick them in front of the TV a lot. And I used to cry about that when I would talk about it. Really, it painfully hurt me because my kids are so important to me that I felt my priority was working for them. And I had to take that choice to work and not be with them. I was physically there, but not with them. But then my thought process is, let's just now bring back that story I just told you about. This person is gone from the home, not even there. And that's typical. That's very typical for a parent to not be at all at home. So when someone would say, well, I'm home, I'm at least home with them, I feel good about that. I did work all hours of the night and I was there with them. I did stick them in front of little Einsteins a ton and I would give them M&Ms just so I could do a phone call. I did do all of that. I know. But I would so much rather being a workaholic present with my kids there and being home with them than being a workaholic not and being gone. Because that was my life before, traveling, gone. So my priority matched. So now look at your priority, Katie. what is your priority? So if working for nonprofit is your priority, then you have to decide that the time that you have available and free in your life, how much time are you willing to designate towards that, knowing that that's not going to pay you back in money. What is it going to be paying you back in? Why do you want to so desperately work, or not desperately, but work so much in nonprofit? What do you want to get out of it? Where do you want to move into? So that's what you really have to identify so that you can understand exactly how much time should I give of my day, of my week to that. And maybe start slow, so figure that out and start slow. Let's go. Shannon's got one. Here we go. Shannon's question.
If your goal is to attract moms who want to get their kids to eat more healthy, and you want to use your like page for that, but you have an issue you can't get past sharing your family, your own child on your like page so publicly because of the job your husband does. How do I get past that, or do I have to just refocus on who I want to attract?
That's a great question. Thanks so much, Shannon, for asking that. And I'm going to give you my 2 cents on that again. So to reiterate, so basically her spouse has a profession that she really has to be careful about putting personal information, including her kids, on public platforms, okay? So this is obviously a big question. A lot of parents are very protective of how much of their children are exposed, of course, online, as well as how much of their images that they put in their content. And everyone has their own opinion. No one is right and no one is wrong. Yeah, applies to divorced couples sometimes. Who was that? Yeah, that makeup artist, Candy. She has a child with another guy and then her other kids were not with the same guy. And all of her YouTube videos, she couldn't put the one elder son's image up ever because he said that she couldn't. So no one's right and no one's wrong in terms of, is it right to put your kids up online? Because I mean, in my perspective of it all, I feel comfortable putting my kids up online. I feel comfortable with that. And the situation of protection that we have and what we train them to do, obviously no one's 100% safe, but the way that we are today, it's really just a real challenge, if you will, to keep anything private in your life. I mean, if people think that their lives are private, they're not. And I know my cousin works in the FBI, and when he was joining with me in the business, he was saying he couldn't do certain activity because he couldn't post anything. He couldn't really use a Facebook page, so he couldn't really do any online business or any social media because, of course, he's in the FBI. So I, of course, said that's no big deal. You don't have to. So her question is, well, how can she focus on building her business and interest with attracting other like niche market moms and helping them be able to promote healthy eating for kids? How can she do that if she can't put her kids' images up? Because we did talk about earlier in a different scope that you can't just grab Google images. So let's talk about what she can do. She can grab images that are free content images. So for instance, if you go to Canva, Canva, you can search for any image that is free there or purchase the images. Stock, exactly, curly hair, is get stock images that you either purchase the images or you can go and get the ones that are free. So Googling is not free. Yeah, neighbors' kids, definitely that's still kind of a touchy thing. It depends on the parents, of course. If the parents are like, fine, go for it, I don't care, then of course it's easy. But she wants still a personal approach like her own kids. So here's another idea. So the first one is you can, of course, go buy it or get the free photos that are given away. And again, Canva has some free images that you can use for anything. Just go search for that. Here's a great idea. Don't give up on something that you're so passionate about, first of all. If you're really passionate about it and you feel that this is the market that you want to help people with, you need to do it. But here you go. If you're trying to attract like moms who are wanting their kids to be more interested in healthier foods, which, hi, I'm one of them. Yesterday, my daughter at cheerleading practice comes up to me just out of the blue and goes, Mom, tomorrow I want chicken tenders and broccoli. And I'm like, Okay. And I tell another mom, I go, well, my kids barely eat vegetables unless we make them at dinner. So I don't know why she's asking for broccoli right now. So that was kind of odd. Think about who you're talking to. Moms and kids. What do kids love? Animation, cartoons. Why don't you get animated pictures? So cartoon pictures, funny pictures. You can even do that for your images. You can create a little mini video out of animated pictures and cartoons of a kid, throwing food off their high chair because they hate vegetables. So if you're not going to use your real kids, then just use animated ones. And if you want to invest money in it because you just don't know where to start and you kind of don't know how to put it together or you don't have enough time, Elance. Elance is where you can outsource jobs and have them do it. And then you just pay them and you own the rights. Yeah, whiteboard dudes on Instagram create animations. You can actually, there is services. I know because I might still actually have it up in my, no, I think I got rid of it. But I did search because I wanted to do one that was where they hand draw it out. But that is money. So you can, pay for money where they go, here's Joanne. She's got a kid. And they draw a little kid, so they can do that whole thing if you want. So, or just engage the moms, right? Feed them the topic, then they feed the kiddos. Yeah, so for instance, if you're fine with putting your own image up, then take images of yourself. But if you're going to take images of food, then you need to make the food look super cute and yummy and bright. So use light. You need to use a light and make the images look as professional as possible. What I would suggest you go do is go search Parents Magazine. Parents Magazine is one to look at and see how they image their stuff. So if you're not going to physically put kids in the picture, just put the content of what you're going to be doing. Yeah, food pics are really cool. So awesome, Shannon. You can ask me questions by going to speakpipe.com/Christine Dwyer. So speakpipe.com/Christine Dwyer, and shoot me off an audio, and I may be able to feature it here as well as in my podcast. See you guys later. Thanks again.